Hello, my lovelies on Facebook. Thank you very much for tuning in. Chris Ducker here from chrisducker.com. I hope you're all doing very well. If you're watching the replay, you rock. Sorry you couldn't be with us live, but hey, you're here nonetheless, and that's important. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, because I'm going to be posting this whole 12 days series here, this action tip series on personal branding. Thank you very much for tuning in on the channel, youtube.com/Chris Ducker. This is our final day together on the 12 days to a powerful, profitable personal brand. And it has been a brilliant 12 days. Today we're going to be talking all about our ongoing marketing strategy. I've got four little tips for you to help you really keep that marketing machine going. I call it the 3M method, or the marketing mode machine. And yeah, this is it. This is what it's all about. I hope you're all doing very well. Come on in. Please feel free to share and all that sort of stuff. Thank you for the little likes and all the rest of it. So yeah, this is the last day in my 12-day series on how to build a powerful, profitable personal brand. And although I'll be carrying on my Facebook Live videos, obviously this is the last one in this particular series. Man, we have covered a lot, a hell of a lot. I'm not going to go over it all, but if you want to go back into the archives either on Facebook or here on the playlist on YouTube, you can do so. But we've covered pretty much everything you need to know in basic format for you to be able to go ahead and build a powerful, profitable personal brand business, both online and off as well. So if you're a coach, expert, author, speaker, consultant, blogger, podcaster, anybody that's building a business around you, your experience, those that you want to serve, we've had a great time with each other. Today I'm going to be talking about online marketing and that ongoing basis of online marketing as well. Michael, good to see you. Caroline, nice to see you as well. Please feel free to share. So let's talk. The big one here, the really big one here, is that what we need to do is we need to start going back into our archives, okay? I've been blogging for 7 years. I've been podcasting for 7 years. I can tell you right now, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of blog posts and podcast episodes that I've produced in that time. And some of them are still not only very relevant, but some of them are gold, quite frankly. I've covered a lot of stuff on my show and on my blog, and I like to make sure that people find it. So here's a couple of quick tips. Number one, make sure that you get into your Google Analytics and start looking at what you've done in the past that's still receiving a load of traffic today. The chances are that there's going to be a good 5 to 10 posts that have been in that archive for quite some time that are actually doing incredibly well still, even months and months and months after you've done all this great new stuff as well. So dip into that archive, pluck out those 5 to 10 archived posts and pieces of content that are doing really well, and let's really utilize them properly in our ongoing marketing efforts. That means making sure we're linking to them in newer blog posts. It means mentioning them in our autoresponders. It means mentioning them on social media, and I'll touch on social media in a minute. But really get in there, start looking at what's working well that you produced a little while ago, and start bringing it back into the limelight again. Now, this also leads me on to probably the biggest tip of this video, and that is the power of repurposing your older content. I touched on this a little bit earlier on in this 12 tip series, but I want to deep dive a little bit here just for a couple of minutes. So the secret here is to, again, go into your archive, look at what posts are doing really, really well over, say, the last 6 to 12 months or so, and then pluck out a whole bunch of them that you can repurpose into other types of media, okay? So, for example, you have a blog post that does very, very well. Can you turn that blog post into an infographic? Think new here. Think about stuff that you've not done before with your audience, or very little of, and then sort of bring that older content back into the limelight with this newer type of media. So from blog post to infographic, maybe it's from podcast episode to blog post, maybe it's video to blog post, maybe it's video to infographic, maybe it's podcast to video. You see all these different ways to be able to get one piece of content and turn it into another piece of content, different media-wise, to be able to share with the people that are actually coming to your site on a regular idea. Great idea, says Michael. Good. Now, here's the big thing, though. Here's the big thing. Understand this. People that are reading your blog might not be checking out your YouTube channel. People that are on your YouTube channel might not be downloading your podcast. People that are listening to your podcast might not be reading your blog. So A, it's important to dip into those three main kind of online content pots there and mix and match a little bit. But B, more importantly, it's extremely important that you start cross-linking all these pieces of content on all these different channels that you're operating so that people can actually discover them. There are people, believe it or not, there are people that are on my mailing list that don't even know that I'm active on YouTube, which is kind of crazy because I link to my videos all the time. So it just goes to show you, some people skip over these things, and it's important for you to understand that you are the one in charge. You are the one that can either put it in front of their eyeballs or not. So make sure you do. So that's your kind of your archive, your repurposing, thinking new, using your Google Analytics properly and really seeing what's working, what's not working. Another way to manage, or rather another way to kind of see and experience what's working really well is also through online shares as well. So if things are getting shared like mad on Facebook or on Twitter or on Pinterest and those sort of types of things, it's also worthwhile looking at those social shares and blog comments and things like that as well. Hey Brad, good to see you here from Denver. Thanks for being here, buddy. All right, so let's talk about social very quickly. Now look, as you all know, I'm a big proponent of outsourcing and delegation. I wrote a book on it called Virtual Freedom. How to work with virtual staff to buy more time. I almost forgot my subtitle. To buy more time, become more productive, and build your dream business. It's a great book. You should definitely pick it up if you haven't already. However, there are times when you shouldn't be automating things. There are times when you shouldn't be delegating things. Now, almost everything that you see on social from me, if it doesn't involve me personally, aka this sort of type of stuff, it's almost always going to be delegated or automated in some capacity via my team. However, whenever you receive a reply on Twitter, or whenever you receive a reply to a comment here on Facebook, it is always me. I have time etched out on my schedule every single month, or every week for that matter, where I get in and I actually spend time replying to content or comments, replying to tweets and all that sort of type of stuff. So automate as much as you can, get that older archive stuff, the stuff that's working really well, pump that up into Twitter. Maybe you're using Hootsuite, maybe you're using Meet Edgar. It doesn't matter what you're using, just get it out of the archive, get it up into your social profiles on a regular basis, and get people in front of your content on an ongoing basis. But understand you've got to be present for that interaction. Remember we talk about that P2P, that people-to-people philosophy, all right? So make sure you're there to reply to comments and answer questions, but automate and delegate as much as you can with social. All right, this leads me on to my third out of my 4 points today. The third point being, listen. Listen and then react. You know, my first ever sales manager in the sales, I've been in sales since I was 17. My first ever sales manager said to me, Chris, if you want to become a really good sales professional, you have to learn how to listen twice as much as you talk. And I agree with that to a certain degree, but I actually think it should be a lot more than just twice as much. It should be maybe 4 or 5 times as much. Any good sales pro will know when to shut the hell up and listen to their prospect when they're on a sales call, in a sales meeting, whether it be at a conference stand or maybe a breakfast meeting or a dinner or whatever it is. Any good sales pro will know when to shut up and listen to their prospect talk. Because when your prospects talk, and we're not talking about sales here, we're talking about your audience members, your followers on social media, the people commenting on your YouTube channel. When people open up and they talk, they give you information. And that information then can be used for you to be able to create more content that you know will help and serve them well. But more importantly, when they give that information freely, it creates an era of being able to just keep open with you, and those prospects, those audience members will ultimately end up deciding what way your business actually moves and grows into the future. Because when you listen to your audience and your community members, great things happen. So listen intently. This is ongoing marketing all the way. Customer service 101. Listen to your community properly and then react in a way that serves them up a level or 2 or 3. Brad says, do these strategies still apply for a brand new site if I'm just starting out to get my content to people that obviously don't know who I am yet? That's a great question, Brad. And yes, they do to a certain degree, obviously. Until people start talking to you, you can't really listen. But this is what happens at first. I experienced this myself when I first started getting active online, and a lot of my clients and my Youpreneur members inside of our community has also experienced this when they first started as well. And this is what happens. When you first start out, what happens is you're creating content that you think, that's the key word here, that you think people want and need based off of what you want to talk about and how you want to help people and what subject you want to be known for and all the rest of it. You can only do so much, right? You can define who you are. You can define your perfect customer, which we covered in the first 2 videos in this 12 video series actually here on Facebook. You can do those things, but until you start getting people actually coming in and checking your stuff out and talking to you, it's hard to really truly know what they need and what they want. But this is the secret. You start by thinking about what they want to know. You're creating that content. You will then start to get that feedback. And once you get that feedback, you have to react. You listen and then you react. And what happens is you go from creating content that you think they want and need to creating content that you know that they want and need. And that's where the big magic kind of moment hits in, because now you're truly serving them because they've told you what they want and need. They've told you, and now you're giving them what you know they want and need. And that's the big magic moment right there. So get into your archive, get active on your social, but automate and delegate as much as you can. Listen and react to your audience and your community members and to your customers. And then my 4th and final tip in this series is a quick one. It's 3 words: rinse and repeat. That's it. That's what I do with my ongoing marketing. I go into that maintenance marketing mode, that 3M marketing that I talked about, or the 3M method, and that rinse and repeat at the end of it. Go back to the archive, pluck it out, repurpose good content that's been received well, go into my social, clean it up regularly, make sure I'm promoting the right things at the right time, listen, react, rinse and repeat, go into the archive, and so on and so on and so on. It doesn't, here's the thing. Here's honestly the thing. Look, I'm a little bit of an old school guy. I'm 43 years old. I've been in the corporate world since I was 17 years in the sales and marketing industry, and I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. I currently run 3 different businesses. I have 500 people working for me. I make a multi-7-figure annual revenue, and I like to keep things bloody simple. I see absolutely no point in complicating anything I do in any way, shape or form unless it truly needs to be complicated. And here's the big aha moment. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't need to be complicated. If you keep it simple, there is less room for errors and mistakes. And when you create that vibe of keeping things simple and helping people and inspiring people and motivating people, maybe even entertaining people along the way a little bit, when you do that as the focus, not a whole lot can go wrong. Not a whole lot can go wrong. And that's the power of the personal brand. Business has changed. It's going to change again and again and continue to evolve. We have to evolve and change with that. But one thing should be the constant in what we do, and that is us. It's us. When you build the business of you, it's 100% original. Nobody can ever copy it. They can copy your ideas, they can copy your brand, they can copy your colors. It gets done to me all the time. They can copy everything you do, but they can't copy being you. And if people are in love with you and what you do and how you help them, if you are their favorite blogger, podcaster, YouTuber, whatever it may be, you're already ahead of the game. And you will always have a thriving, powerful, profitable personal brand business based around you and the people you want to serve. Boom. Mic drop time. I am out of here. It's been great hanging out with you in the last 12 days here on Facebook for this series. Again, go back into the archives. The videos ain't going nowhere. But if you want to get them in a little bit more of a kind of a real kind of order, so to speak, hop over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris Ducker, and you will see the playlist there under the name of the Personal Brand Action Tip series. And that's it. Thank you very much for being with me. I very much appreciate it. I'll be back here on Facebook. Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. I'll probably be back at some point in the next day or two and having a little bit more fun with you between now and the end of the year. You rock. Thank you so much for all the thumbs up and the hearts and everything. You guys are great. And yeah, if there's ever anything I can do, if you've got any other questions in any way whatsoever, just post them right here in the comments section, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube for that matter, and I promise I will get to them. I'm here to try and help you just as much as I possibly can when it comes to building a really profitable business based around you, your message, your experience, and the people that you want to help and serve in the world. Believe me, the world needs what you've got. It really does. And if you think otherwise, you're letting yourself down and you're letting the people down in the future that you will meet and inspire and help. And we can't have any of that, can we? See you guys soon. Bye for now.